Well, good evening,
Emphasis
everyone,
on the
and welcome to Proficiency Bonus. This is Delve and Dash, episode 25. And if you had a chance to watch last week's episode, episode 24, A Sewer Situation, our party is in quite a predicament.
We're all gonna die.
almost all of us.
So before we get started, I just want to throw out a quick shout out to our friends at Little Dragon Corp. You can type in !Little Dragon to get a link to their awesome website where they have a bunch of RPG gear and awesome dice. You can type in the coupon code BONUS at checkout to get 10% off of your order. So check out Little Dragon Corp and get some dice, because you can't have too many dice. Let them jingle, let them rattle a little bit. I feel good. It's about the dice. And hopefully they roll a little bit better for our friends tonight than they did a week ago. So, they have escaped Lady Pelier's house. Went into the sewers. Raz was guiding them through. They started to stumble upon areas where there were large holes kind of dug into the walls, as if something was burrowing through. They discovered there were two large worms feeding on something in the sewers. Tried to sneak around and were ambushed by these crazy little magical sewer creatures. These mud sewer mephits seemed to jump them. And just like that, they were in a battle for their lives as these worms enclosed on their position. And now, we're going to continue on with the combat situation, folks. I'm going to change the music a little bit. It's already combat style, but we're going to go a little bit more drastic. Let's go with this tune. Yeah, that's a little bit more intense. I like that. It might be a little too loud. I apologize. That shuts it completely off. I'm sorry, Twitch. Raz, it's your turn. Now, currently, we have a large worm in front of basically all three of your comrades. The one that I believe you're still standing next to Silver at this point, or did you back away from Silver?
I'm sort of backed between Silver and Franklin.
Okay, the one in front of Silver, you can tell, is pretty bloodied. It's got this area like split where you have run your dagger down through its kind of almost gelatinous like body, and it was spewing this greenish pussy kind of liquid, yellowish green liquid. Looks pretty rough shaped. I apologize. I'm gonna have to turn it back to that other song because that was just too loud and it was just blasting in my ears. I apologize. This is too intense of a moment to have that kind of volume going on, guys. So you can tell that one's pretty hurt. There is another one. I believe it's the one in front of Franklin that looks like it may have been bitten by something. The one, unfortunately, in front of Vix, who you can see Vix is completely, utterly, like, still with these tentacles wrapped around it. That one looks like it's still in a fair bit of health.
So, prefacing this, as this is what the character would do, it brings me no joy. But, is there a way, Michael, for me to use a combination of my action, movement, and bonus action to grab the noble and get out of there?
Yes.
Are you gonna make me think of it, or are you gonna tell me what it is?
You can basically, the noble is on Franklin's back.
Yeah, can I use like my action to pull her off, movement to move with my bonus action to disengage?
Yeah, you could bonus action disengage. Technically, though, as soon as you get a hold of Lady Pelir, you're going to be moving at half movement because you're technically going to count this as like a drag, like you're dragging her away. So you can move 10 feet up, grab her, bonus action disengage, and then movement.
I'm standing next to her. I'm standing next to Franklin already.
Oh, you're standing right next to him?
Yeah, I'm between Silver and Franklin.
Yeah, you could do that.
So
bonus action, then move and dash. But you'd still be only half movement.
Yeah. Can I get rid of that if I yell for her to follow me?
Go ahead and make a persuasion check.
Okay. Come on, dice.
Don't forget, we all have that inspiration from Christy.
Oh yeah, everybody gets a point of Christy inspiration.
Yeah, might as well. I'll try it. Nope, that didn't help me. Sorry. That is math. 14.
14. Seeing these terrible creatures around, and the fact that she's been screaming in terror ever since they emerged, she gladly hops off of Franklin's back and begins to run with you.
Okay. So I can get my full movement?
You can. She, unfortunately, is getting attack of opportunity against, as this thing tries to lash out at her with its tentacles.
I have a question.
It rolls a 2 and misses.
Okay, never mind.
And begins.
Oh no, it doesn't. It wouldn't have mattered anyway. Never mind.
And begins...
Also, I appreciate it, Christy. I'll blame that one on the inspiration that I had from Michael. I'll save your one for later.
So you're running.
Yep.
Okay. You are running down the sewers. Lady Pelir is struggling to catch up. She's not wearing the best shoes to be running alongside a drainage system with you. It's slipping a little bit, but is still trying to keep up the best you can. You can hear her behind you, like freaking out. And she's running and trying to follow you. So running and dashing, you're getting through there. Vix, it becomes your turn. Currently, you are paralyzed due to a poison that's been injected into your system. So you don't get to do anything except try to break that poison. You may roll your Constitution saving throw.
Quick, very, very quick question.
Yes.
Never mind. You know what? I'm just gonna make the throw. Forget it. Okay. You said what? Constitution?
Constitution.
15.
15? Suddenly, this fear just envelops you as you come to your senses and realize this thing is like trying to wrap its tentacles back around you, and you have now regained the movement in your arms and legs. And you have control of yourself once again.
Okay. All right.
So Vix has broken that condition. You're no longer poisoned, no longer paralyzed. That brings us to Franklin.
I have a question.
Sure.
How does inspiration work if I already have disadvantage?
I don't think you would have disadvantage.
Well, I'm poisoned and I'm paralyzed.
Poison only does ability and
yeah, poison's
ability and attacks.
Only abilities and attacks. So you have a regular roll unless you want to use an inspiration and gain advantage on it.
I used inspiration to gain advantage.
Right.
And that's still a 5.
Oh no.
I have one more advantage. One more
left. I apologize for Discord. My Discord is freezing up and doing all kinds of wacky stuff tonight, guys. So for some reason, Dalton is frozen. I don't know why. So,
you're not frozen for me.
That's weird. You're frozen.
Don't worry, I haven't been able to see myself for 3 weeks, so...
So we're not sure what's going on with our cam. But Franklin, as you are just watching, you can only just see this thing. You can't. Your muscles are just frozen solid, and you just can't seem to push this poison out of your system. It still has its grip firmly locked on you, Franklin. That brings us to Silver.
Well, I am also going to just, try and break this using one of the inspiration I have.
All right.
That's a 3 and a 4.
Oh,
So-
no.
So that is a 7.
It's 7.
Does
We're
7 beat
gonna
it?
die.
Unfortunately for
This is
Silver,
wonderful.
a 7 is not going to cut it. As
These
you
dice still
are-
hate me.
as you're still covered in that thick mud,
Mm-hmm.
and you can't even
Oh,
move.
that's right.
You probably can't even see much of this whole situation as you're just covered in mud. You can still feel that you have that other woman tied up and attached to your back. But you can't move. Your mind is telling you, get out of there, Silver. But you just can't move.
Is this mud like keeping me standing up too?
It
Because that'd be
is.
hilarious.
Yeah,
Great.
You're just standing there. It's like this big mound of mud. It's just like it gets like a little thicker down at the base of your feet as it makes this nice nice mud pedestal for you to stand in. It's kind of like a D&D miniature with a nice little base at the bottom. You've got a mud base. That brings us to the worms. We'll start with the one in front of Silver. It tries to attack you with its tentacles first.
Mm-hmm.
It gets to make this attack with advantage because you are restrained and paralyzed.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was a 3 and a 4, but it's not. Yeah, it is going to be a 24 to hit.
Oh yes, definitely hurts.
That will auto crit with the
Uh-huh.
tentacles. So you are going to take 8 points of poison damage
Okay.
as more poison is injected into your bloodstream. You are starting to feel very sick.
Mm-hmm.
And it then brings its jaws down as it's pulling itself down over top of you, and it's going to try to basically fit your whole entire head in its mouth as it tries to bite you.
You didn't need a head, did you?
And that will be a 19 to hit.
Yep.
So that will also be an auto critical. As I double the dice roll for this. As it chomps
Not
down.
looking good.
11 points of piercing damage.
Okay, I'm still up.
So up.
Just because of the mud?
He is still. Silver is holding on to a thread of life. He is still breathing, but now his whole head is inside this worm's mouth, and it literally is trying to basically shove Silver into its mouth with its tentacles and just basically almost swallow him whole as it's trying to work on him. Then we'll go to the one that's attacking Vix. It reaches out, and Vix, it's making regular rolls against you because you are in control of your your body now. Here comes the oh god.
Is that a natural 20?
It indeed is a natural 20.
Great.
I don't have my cell phone here. I'd take a picture of it. It's bad, folks. It's bad. So you are gonna take. Actually, I didn't roll high on the d4s, so it's 6 points of poison damage.
I'm still up.
And you need to make another Constitution saving throw as the poison is injected back into your system.
Oh my god. Okay.
I'm gonna put that dice away. We'll put that over there. That one.
Did we get inspiration at the end of last
You
week?
did a Christie inspiration
I'm
point.
gonna use it.
All right.
I'm gonna use it. That was cocked. Okay.
Oh no! You gotta be kidding me.
6.
And just as soon as you regain control of your limbs, just that quickly,
I'm crying right now, by the way.
can't move again, and you're just have this fearful look in your eyes as you watch as it chomps down on you now with advantage. Oh god. Well, what a crit anyway, but it was a natural 20 on that one as well.
Again?
Again.
I'm dead.
Jesus!
Give her that
I'm
dice.
unconscious.
You're unconscious?
Yeah.
Did you have one hit
Probably.
point left?
What's your damage?
10 points of piercing.
I'm unconscious.
You see the worm basically shove Vix into its mouth. His small cobalt legs are dangling out of the worm as the worm picks him up and is trying to do the same thing to Vix, which is much easier to do than Silver for the other one. And he's using its tentacles to kind of shove Vix into its mouth. The next one is going to make its attacks against Franklin. I'm using 2 completely different dice this time.
Come on, let's go.
So, Franklin, here comes the first tentacle attack. Oh boy. Oh boy.
19 is my AC.
Okay, well that's a 27.
Woohoo! Let's go.
So,
Roll that crit damage.
9 points of poison damage.
I'm so sad right
And
now.
it's gonna bite you as well.
All right, let's go.
And oh, that's only a 10.
That misses.
It misses with advantage. A 10. It as it's trying to basically wrap its tentacles around you, it actually accidentally bites one of its own tentacles, kind of like biting your tongue, and then just retracts back from you as it has a little bit of pain, and you can see some weird greenish mucusy stuff pouring out of its wound it gave itself. That ends their turn. Brings us back up to Raz, who is running.
Yep.
Continue.
And just. Yep. Honestly, I am looking for the nearest exit to the city.
Okay. So you basically head down, and then you make a right-hand turn, and you start heading down some more. You probably get whatever your mad dash speed is down this next hall. You can still hear the sounds of this awful sequence happening. You can hear what sounds to be like chomping and chewing, and the lashing of tentacles coming from behind you.
As we're going, I'm just like mumbling, or like sort of, I guess not really mumbling, but saying like to the noble, like, it's fine, just follow me, just keep going, it's fine, come on, follow me, hurry, it's gonna be okay, just follow me, come on, hurry up, we're almost there.
She's panicking. She's just running as fast as she can behind you to get away from those terrible creatures and sounds. Vix, I need a death saving throw from you, sir.
All right, well, I'm gonna do my normal thing and roll a critical roll die
Okay.
for my death saves. It's me and Derek's thing. We have to do it. I'm using my brand new dice. I've never rolled them before. These metal ones I got at Gen Con. And here we go. Natural 20.
No.
There you go. That's 2 successful saves.
That is the die you need to keep rolling, my friend. As you come back to consciousness inside this thing's mouth. And you just can smell terrible poison breath. As you can't see much, but what looks to be like tongue and saliva, and it's nasty in here. Okay. That ends Vix's turn. Because I think that happens at the end of your turn when you do that, right? Or is it? Or do you still get your? I can't remember if you still get your action. I think
It's
I'm
at the
pretty
end
sure
of your
it's
turn.
It's at the end, I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Okay. It actually, as you start to move, it actually like drops you out of its mouth, and you land onto the ground, staring up at this thing. You're covered now in this worm type saliva.
Oh, it's just gonna kill me again.
Oh, come on, don't be so negative.
Franklin, you're next.
Well, I'm gonna roll my saves, and that's a natural 1. Let's use that in inspiration into another natural 1.
No!
You need new dice, bud.
Those weren't the ones
These
I
are the
got
dice
you, right?
that Michael gave me. Yep.
Yeah, stop.
You're gonna have to mail those back.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, this is getting bad. Yeah, you cannot move still, as you are seeing this thing trying to continue to lash out at you and eat you. Ah, Silver.
Okay. Well, last inspiration.
All right.
Well, that's a natural 20.
Heck yeah.
I'm not paralyzed anymore, but I'm restrained still.
You are not poisoned or paralyzed, but you are still restrained in the mud.
Mm-hmm.
And that was at the end of your turn. So that,
Yep.
So that brings us back to the worms. Vix, that one is terribly angry that you were able to basically start wiggling your way free of it eating it. So it's going to go ahead and make an attack with its tentacles against you.
Okay.
It's a 21 to hit.
Of course that hits. I'm unconscious.
So you got 4 poison and you're unconscious again.
Yeah.
And then it's seeing you unconscious lying there, tries to bite your corpse. Or turn
Okay.
your corpse.
All right.
So it has advantage. That's a 22 to hit.
All right. That's two failed.
Two.
One failed. Two failed. Two
Two
fails.
failed death saves as it is
All right.
chewing on you as you're laying unconscious. And that brings us to Franklin, who is still cannot move with advantage.
At least have a good at AC.
That is a 24 with the tentacles.
Go ahead. Roll it.
8.
Roll that crit. Make it beautiful.
8 poison damage. And here comes the bite on you.
All right.
A 20.
That'll definitely
Oh,
hit.
that'll do it too. Here comes the bite damage. Critical. 10 points of piercing damage.
All right. I'm still up.
Franklin's still up as this thing is chewing on him again. Oh gosh. Silver,
Mm-hmm.
it's coming at you. You're still restrained.
Yep.
I think that-
I'm pretty sure that's still advantage.
Still advantage, but not auto crit.
Not auto. Well, I'm at 3 HP, so.
Okay. That doesn't help your situation.
I'm at 24.
31.
That's an 18.
Yeah, that hits.
Oh, you take
16.
You take 5 poison damage.
I am unconscious.
Unconscious. While it's got you in its tentacles and you're unconscious, it tries to bite you with advantage. Chomp down. That is going to be a 19.
That hits.
2 failed death saves for Silver as you guys are being eaten.
At least you're still held up by the mud.
True. True.
It's like propping him up. It's like putting a golf ball on a tee. It's like just he's teed up. He's gosh. That ends their
Oh, boy.
turn, and Raz continues to run.
Yep.
You
How close am I to a sewer
You
grate?
did hear a few screams come from far back there behind you in the sewers. Go ahead and make a perception check.
That's a something. 16.
The first thing you find is it looks to be some type of manhole cover. There's no like ladder there, but there's a manhole cover there.
Is it, how high up is it?
Ceiling's in here about 8 feet. It's a couple feet above your head, I think. I can't remember.
Is it the
exactly
kind of
how
thing I could sort of flinger out of and jump out of myself with a nice acrobatics check?
it would you'd have to figure out a clever way of getting that manhole cover off because it's probably pretty heavy.
Okay, then do I know if we're near any place that actually has a ladder?
You're not sure. What you remember from being in the sewers is a lot of times they don't leave ladders here so that people just can't remove the manhole cover and just climb down whenever they feel like. That would be against OSHA safety regulations. So they can't do that. So you do feel like eventually you could get to a part where there's like maybe drainage alongside the street to where you can maybe kind of climb up and squeeze your way out that way, or find another.
That'll take too long.
Yeah.
Okay. Question. What is the upper limit of a medium-sized creature height-wise?
Goliaths, I think, are still considered medium creatures. And they can get up to like what, like 8 feet tall?
About that.
I think so, yeah.
And
Something like
And I
that.
think Franklin and Silver are still considered medium, and they weigh on the upward. Like you guys weigh up in the upwards of like 250, 300 some pounds, right? Like being
Yeah.
a turtle and a dragonborn.
Yeah, I'm 6'8", 250.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm 6'8" and like 300.
I'm going to take a second and change into a 7-foot, some odd inch tall humanoid and use a crowbar to get the thing off.
Okay. Go ahead and make, since you're using a crowbar, go ahead and make a, let's call this athletics with advantage for having the crowbar.
That is a 13 plus 2, 15.
15. You reach up with the crowbar, you drive it under where the sewer, the manhole cover rests down there, and you hear it go as you push hard with the crowbar, and you just drag it across the top of the street. You have opened it up. Lady Pelir down there is just like watching all this intently as she's still sweating and almost like in tears, like her makeup is running on her face.
I am going to push her out, like grab her, shove her up,
You shove
and
up
as
the
I do,
noble
just
out-
say, get into an alley.
Okay, so you shove up the noble. It's still daylight. As,
Yeah, I know.
as
I
it's
don't
still-
really care.
And as she pops out, there's people walking down the street and stuff, and a lot of people just stop and look and what's going on? What is that? And you pop up behind her as well.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get my hands onto the ledge, change back to random dude number 43, and pop out.
Okay, so as you pop out, your random dude number 43, as you pull yourself out, you can see you guys are totally covered in sewage and nastiness from being down there. It seems like a lot of the bystanders have stopped, just kind of look and just be those people that just stare for a minute and just like whisper to each other, you know, just watching.
Yeah, and then
wondering
I'm gonna
what's
grab
going
her hand and make for the closest alley.
on. Okay, you head on that way. Vix,
Hello.
you
It's that time, guys.
all of a sudden. Actually, the only person that's not unconscious right now is Franklin. And Franklin, you hear what sounds like it sounds like, and then all of a sudden, and you can't see it because I think you're still paralyzed, so you can't turn around. But Vix is violently thrown out of this creature's mouth and rolls across the ground within the sewer. But he still owes me
A death saving throw.
death saving throw on his turn.
So you're making this all on me now, huh? I don't have any inspiration. It's all up to this die right here.
Oh boy.
That's a 13.
You are still in the game. As your body is tossed about. You don't know what happened because you're unconscious. But it seems like something caused you to be jettisoned out of this thing's mouth.
Okay.
That brings us to Franklin.
What if I told you I got another natural one?
I'm almost not gonna believe you.
Because that's what I got.
You don't have any inspiration left?
No, I used it all.
So Franklin is still stuck there with poison just jetting through his system, unable to fight it. Maybe because Franklin has been so secluded in his Swamp Evermore home that he's never been, subjected to toxins of this nature. His body just doesn't know how to fight it. And his dice don't know how to roll anything higher than a 1.
The highest I've rolled tonight was like a 3.
Gosh.
You'd need new dice.
So Franklin ends his turn. Silver.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, it doesn't seem like you're being chewed on anymore. But you still owe me a death saving throw.
Uh-huh.
Come on, Derek.
Well,
Franklin,
you add your con, right, to this? I can't remember, or is it just a straight roll?
It's a straight roll.
It's a straight
10
roll.
and up.
10 or higher, you pass.
Yeah, well, that's a 6.
No!
Oh.
Is that your third one?
Yep, because I got bit last time.
Oh, you're dead.
Franklin, you can probably see this out of the corner of your eye because you and Silver were standing kind of close to each other. Silver, this worm just separates Silver from the muddy cocoon, from the mud cocoon that he was stuck in, rips Silver up and just swallows him. And it just goes as his feet are just kind of falling down this thing's system. You can see a large bulbous area where this thing is like a snake swallowing an egg. And we've got Silver in the gray.
Mm-hmm.
The worms go.
They're gonna kill us. I'm dead anyway.
Franklin, you're noticing something strange. You can't move, but all of a sudden these really shiny flashes start to happen. And you hear the sounds of swords, blades, and other things carving into flesh. You hear screeching noises. You see a few tentacles go flying across your field of vision, spewing this mucousy substance everywhere. None of the worms attack you. Actually, the one that's standing in front of you just tries to seem like he's running away, and then he goes out of your field of view because your neck is frozen, so you can't turn your head. And then it ends their turn.
I have a question.
Sure.
Does it seem like these are the guards that maybe followed us down here?
Since you're still in control of your brain, make an intelligence check.
Well, there's that 18 on the dice. So that's a 21.
There are other people here that are kind of clothed in dark leathers. They seem to be
Oh boy, I'm gonna die anyway.
They seem to be wearing things over their face, sort of like ninjas do.
Oh, it's the hand. No.
And they seem to be ripping apart these worms rather easily as they're hacking off pieces.
I like that you're punishing me for leaving, Michael. Really appreciate that.
And you're saying I only needed to survive for one more turn.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, surely they can pass one death save and make it to the next turn, but I wanted to make everybody sweat a little bit.
Hey, I mean, I still gotta make a death save, you know?
Yep, we still got that coming up. Raz, you're out on the street.
Mm-hmm. Heading towards a alley. I'm trying to get to my mom's house.
Okay. Yeah, you head towards an alley. You're being dragged around Lady Pelier. She kind of looks at you and she's like, wait, what is going on here? I'm done. I'm done.
I know. I'm getting you somewhere safe where you can clean off. So that you don't attract attention.
You know somewhere where you can go.
I do.
Okay. Oh, finally. that door was in my house.
Yep.
And you just continue to drag her heading towards your mom's house.
It's an expendable location at this point.
Vix.
Yeah. Hey there.
You, my friend, owe me a death saving throw.
$11.
Oh, Vix. That's 2 successes?
Yes.
All right, 2 successes.
Next one decides it.
Yep. Because the hand really, honestly, doesn't care about us. I'm just saying.
Franklin.
But we're also in their sewers, and we might know too much now. So I got an 8 this time.
An 8?
An 8 total.
An 8 total.
Oh.
You are still
Yes.
paralyzed. You've been paralyzed for an episode and a half.
That's right.
Raz's organization murders all of us.
And at that point, Franklin, that's when you notice eyes immediately in front of your face, staring right at you, of a dark.
At least they're greeted with a derpy smile. That never left the face.
Never leaves your face. And as you're staring at this face, it just looks at you strangely, tilts its head just a little bit, and then removes the mask. And there you see an elf, a female elf, long dark hair. Resembles wood elf. Rather beautiful elf woman, but a stern look on her face as she's just inspecting you. And she just looks, seeing that you're succumbed by the toxic venom that's been in your system. Why don't you just stay put? And then she just moves off to the side. And you don't see anyone, but you can hear things happening. It almost seems like you hear this nasty it sounds like somebody slicing through something, like somebody carving through flesh. And then you hear the sound of another female voice call out, looks like we got a dead one here. Somebody help me pull this one out. And you hear this noise as something has been removed from something else. This one over here. You hear another female voice. This one over here it's just barely breathing. And then you hear another one, like just a couple of them back and forth. Not really sure. They're just trying to figure out exactly what to do. And then you hear that elf woman that was standing in front of you say, "Where's the lady? Who's this?" And then, wait.
I'm paralyzed. I can't talk.
Yeah, it's just behind you. Then you hear, "It's Katana. She's tied up. Untie her. What is going on?" And it seems like everybody's having this situation. I'm gonna make a roll for this before
We know
Now
way
I
too much.
definitely know too much.
We all know way too much. I've already done bad things to the hand. There is no way they let me live.
Vix, no one has done anything to help you yet. So I want you to go ahead and make another death saving throw for me. If you succeed, You...
3!
That's another death.
Everybody, an F in chat for Silver and Vix.
We're sending our thoughts and prayers.
Christy, this was probably a bad episode for you to be tuning in tonight.
Oh yeah, she's not liking you right now.
Oh no. We just killed off someone's second favorite character. Oh, I'm sorry. D&D is hard. D&D is hard.
We asked for it. We asked.
We did say no ex machinas.
So
We said if you're gonna do it, do it. He left it up to the dice.
So, Vix, life escapes. You seem to be drifting as you see bright lights flashing before you. Where those bright lights take you? Well, that's a story for another adventure.
Okay. Is that alluding to something?
Delve&dash.
Foreshadowing for later.
Stay in tune for delve&dash 2.
Foreshadowing? I'm a shadow.
Franklin, go ahead and make your saving throw to try to get out of this situation.
7.
7.
Oh boy.
You hear more communication. You can see one woman, a different woman who's completely masked, is walking by, and you see it. This purple kobold being held like a baby gone limp in its arms. As this woman just walks by your range, out of your field of view, and then disappears over to the other side where the elf woman had walked.
Is it possible for Franklin to think that they killed him?
Make another intelligence check.
12.
12. Gauging from the wounds on Vix, it's pretty apparent that he was gnawed by these worms. It doesn't look like blades had cut through him. It looks like he got gnawed and bitten and chewed. Yeah, his body is not in a good condition as he is moved by you. And it'd be hard for you to see in the, because do you have dark? I don't think you have dark vision.
No, I do
So
not. I had it when I was a spider.
You did, yeah, but,
But not now.
It's very difficult for you to see in the first place. You can see little shades of color and light occasionally, but there's not much here to be found.
Because I also took my lantern, so it would have been dark.
Okay, Franklin, while you're standing there, still succumbed by this toxin, you hear the women keep talking, and the one thing that seems to be coming up is, where's the lady? We were sent here to make sure that the lady was safe. Where is she?
You mean they're not talking in Thieves' Camp? What is
No,
this?
they're not. They're talking right in front of you. It seems like they don't even care.
All right.
And they're just talking, and then you hear the, what are we gonna do with this one? And then you hear the elf woman. Seems like the matriarch is looking for adventurers. This one seems to fit the bill, don't you think? And then you hear one of them kind of snoodily say, "Well, he isn't gonna be much good in that condition. You know, those crawlers, they really chewed him up." Yeah, but, you know, this is a crawler ambush, you know? I mean, they set these things up all the time. I think if we got him ready, I think he could help. And then you hear them all kind of in agreement as this is taking place, that Franklin would be a good adventurer to take to the matriarch.
Oh boy.
Raz, after some time, you make your way to your mom's house. with Lady Pelir in your custody.
So, in my head canon of what this house looks like, we have like a spigot in the backyard for like watering plants and getting water, that kind of because it's always better never to know how many people are in your house. So I would just take her into the back fence and just like shower off.
She's kind of like a little reluctant at first because she's used to a noble's bathroom not being soaked in the back with water hoses and stuff. So as you're
oh no, this is pure bucket over the top.
Just cold water just pouring down over, and she just wipes some of the sewage off of her. This dress is ruined.
Yeah, I have something that should fit you inside. Give me a moment. And I'm just gonna like look over, see if there's any food in the garden that I can just quick pluck and like hand to her while I open the door.
Oh yeah,
and
there's some fruits and vegetables available that you have in the small garden. Well, what kind of things do you think your mother would make? Put in this little small garden. It's hard to have a garden here in the city, but
I think it would be like a little tiny bit of carrots, some like climbing beans, and then maybe a cherry tree or some small fruit tree that provides shade but also sustenance.
Okay. Yeah. I'm able to get some carrots, and you both kind of enjoy some of these carrots as you're getting ready to enter the house.
I'm just like sitting her down because we have like a bench out the back. I'm like, just wait here a moment. Let me grab you some clothes and I'll be back. Don't move. If anything happens, come inside.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna like.
As long as we're out of those sewers, with those things.
Yeah, it'll be okay. And I'm gonna like open the door, step through, and close it, like not latch it, but just like close it 3/4 of the way. So like can hear if anything happens, but kind of blocking her line of view. And I'm just going in, Mother, where are you? I need your help.
I'm upstairs, dear. Oh, did real mother?
Yes, my real mother.
Like,
what do you need?
I'm downstairs, honey.
Sorry about that.
That's awesome. We've just broken the fourth wall, right? Is that what that is?
Pretty much. Just like, what?
While she's getting ready to do this, Franklin, go ahead and make your saving throw, please.
Has it been a minute? Because I know this only lasted a minute.
Yeah.
At least I thought it did.
Oh yeah, it lasts a minute. So yeah, you would eventually wear out, but unfortunately, whenever you regain control of your limbs, you are now tied up.
Okay, so now I'm restrained.
Now you're restrained. Your arms basically are wrapped up, and basically your arms are wrapped up, and somebody has tied rope around, like they've tied your arms to your chest like this, and they tied your arms basically to your shell, and your legs have been wrapped up from basically your ankle to your knee.
So I would like to make a strength check to get out of this.
Okay.
Five.
And then you hear shh, and you see there's a blade pointed towards your neck as you're laying on the ground trying to pull this rope off of you. And it's that elf woman, and she's like, don't move. You were good at it. Just stay still.
Can I cast spells while I'm restrained like this, or no?
If it's only a vocal spell, you can.
Okay, I need to look at my spell.
If it requires like hand motions, then no, you cannot cast that spell, because they don't have you gagged or anything. They just have you tied up.
Okay.
And she's just basically holding this sword to you. And then she pulls the sword away and just resheathes it. And
That's
seems like
probably a mistake on her end.
and she's just like seems like to be looking over and watching the rest of them. It looks like they're gathering some things. It looks like they have two burlap bags. One of them's rather large and one of them's probably half that size, with what seems to be perhaps bodies inside. And you can hear two of the women are actually arguing. Katana is basically trying to vouch for her position, while the others are kind of mocking her. How could you let this happen? What happened to the lady? You were supposed to be watching her. It was your job to watch over Lady Pelir. How could you have done this? It wasn't my fault. I didn't know about these. Who are these guys anyway? Where did they come from? How did they know about all this? How'd they know this? I'm like, I don't know, but we gotta find her. You're coming with us from now on. And she seemed like they just seemed to like go back and forth. Seems like some of them are not very trusting of Katana anymore.
Can I try to break out again?
Just a moment. Let's go back to Raz.
Okay. Because I rolled good this time.
Okay, hold your roll. Okay, Raz, your mother, you can see it starts slowly coming down the steps. She's got much shorter hair now, as you guys had done a lot of cutting of her hair. She looks tired. Looks like she hasn't slept very well in the last few days. Makes her way down towards you. What is it, dear?
Everyone's dead. I have the noble.
Thank you so much for the subscription, whoever that was. After it came right as soon as she said everyone's dead. And the
Pudding Void.
Thank you, Pudding Void, for the subscription. We do appreciate it. Thanks for joining the family.
Yeah, so, you were gonna leave the city, right? How about now?
We're gonna leave now?
In the next hour?
Okay, sure. I guess. What? You said everyone's dead? You mean Silver? And Vix?
Yeah,
Franklin? They're all dead?
Yes. We were leaving through the sewers and crawler ambush. They were all paralyzed, and there was methods, and there was nothing I could do.
It's okay.
I got the noble out, and
She just starts patting you. It's okay, dear. You know what? We were gonna go anyway, okay? It's okay. We were gonna go anyway.
no ties, right?
No ties. Let's just leave it all behind.
Let me grab the, what's the noble's name again?
Lady Pelir.
Clear.
Mhm.
Let me grab Lady Pelir, one of the disguises, and,
Wait a minute. Lady Pelir?
yeah. She's in our garden.
What?
So, yeah,
And she starts to walk past you towards the back door that she sees a little bit cracked open, slowly and almost with this face of like totally just disbelief. As she walks by, you can hear her pat. She's just walking slowly, and then she just creeps up to the side of the door and just looks out the door, and then goes and then turns back towards you, and then what happened, and What? Why is she here?
This location is disposable now. If we're leaving. It was the only place I could get her.
We can leave, but we cannot take her with us.
No, I plan to give her clothes and send her on her way. I don't know what she's involved in, but it no longer concerns us.
I'll go get my things. You should do the same.
Mine are already packed. And I'm gonna go down into the little basement underground area and rummage through the clothing chest for probably one of the nicer dresses we have in the disguise cabinet to give to her.
Franklin, you can make your check again, but this time
19.
they've got like a burlap sack over your head,
Okay.
and it feels like 3 people are carrying you.
That'd probably take that many.
19.
Yes.
Would you free your legs or your arms?
My arms, so I could cast spells, so I can heal myself.
Okay. You free your arms, and then you hear people start to panic. He's getting free. He's broken the ropes. What would you do?
I will just say, I'm just trying to cure my wounds.
You hear that all of a sudden, this burlap gets ripped off of your head, and you can see that elf woman looking right at you, like, then just a few feet from your face. Make it quick.
Okay, I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds at 3rd level.
Okay. And she looks at you after you cast that, and you feel that some of your wounds begin to close. She takes the sword, and she cuts the bindings on your legs. And she says, probably be in your best interest to follow along. My sisters are getting tired of carrying you anyway.
I heal 20.
Okay. So are you gonna follow along with them?
Where are we going?
I believe the matriarch would like to meet you.
And who is that?
Well, let's just say you've been... How can I say this in the nicest way possible? Aggressively invited to a banquet.
And if I decline?
If you decline, then she looks over to the 2 burlap sacks that some of these other girls are carrying. There is one larger one that seems to be starting to soak through with a little bit of red blood. And there's a much smaller one that only one is carrying that you can see a little purple hand hanging out of. We may have to use 2 burlap sacks for you, but we can make it happen.
I am now going to cast Entanglement on myself, centered around me.
Okay.
So I'm confident I can make my save, but what about them?
Okay. What's an entangle save?
Strength.
Strength. So all of them are gonna make it.
Yep, it is a 20-foot radius around me.
Okay, so that'll probably get everybody. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 7 total. It's strength, you said?
That is correct.
You have the elf entangled. You also have the one holding Vix entangled. You have... What's the DC?
15.
15. You have the one in the back that's holding Silver's feet entangled. Those two both fail. So far, only one has succeeded. There's only one free.
And which one was that?
The one that's kind of holding Silver's shoulders, where his shoulders would be, wrapped up in this burlap sack.
Okay.
As
And I
these
got an
vines-
18 to make my save.
Okay, so you're free. The vines kind of come out and wrap around. Is that what entanglement does? Does it make difficult terrain as well?
Yep, it restrains them.
Just restrains them. So everybody but
Mhm.
one is currently restrained as you wrap these women up. You can hear screams and panic and people yelling back and forth frustratedly as these vines rip out from in between the areas in the sewers.
And then, perhaps now we can talk. And then I'm just going to start walking out of the range of my spell.
Okay. So you.
It is difficult terrain too, so it takes me a little bit of time.
Okay. And is there anything else that you'd be saying to them as you make your way out? Because they're still stuck right now, except the one. The one draws what looks to be a scimitar, and is just kind of holding it towards you. Hasn't made like an aggressive move towards you. It just has the sword out. Would you stop that, please? Stop it. Whatever you're doing, stop it.
You are going to force me to potentially die. Why should I?
The way I see it, we helped you. We saved you. You could have been like them. Just kind of gestures towards the burlap sacks. The burlap body bags.
I am willing to go with you, but I do not want to be surrounded.
You hear the elf woman back there.
Dude.
She's like, we won't surround you. Just promise that you'll come with us. And promise us that you won't try anything funny. You've already created quite a mess in here. As she's trying to move her arms out from all these vines.
As long as you do nothing funny, I will not.
She looks at you and she says, you have my word.
Can I insight check that?
Sure.
Okay. So,
What'd you get?
I had to go back to my skills so I could do the math for you.
Oh yeah, sure.
That is 18.
18? It seems as if she's being honest in this moment. Other than that, you can't really tell much. She doesn't have any, like, weird twitches or eye movements when she says anything like that. She's pretty stern in the face.
Okay, well, I'm gonna make them wait out the rest of the minute and then go with them.
Okay, nice.
Power move.
Power move. Franklin just stands there watching the vines and just staring at all these women that are trapped up. The other one just kind of holding the scimitar, just making sure that you don't make any aggressive moves towards her, just to kind of protect.
I'm
yourself.
pretty sure I don't have my stick with me, so
Raz, after a short amount of time, it seems like your mother has gotten a adventuring bag together and makes her way back downstairs, and she is moving very quickly. She, ever since seeing that you had Lady Pelir here at the house, she has been moving as fast as she can to get her stuff gathered up.
I have my bag as well. Plus, when I was in the basement, I would have grabbed 1 or 2 small trinkets of my own. And probably some food. And then I would leave my bag just inside the door, as I would open it again, hand Lady Polier the outfit, and here, this should fit you. I'm sorry, it's the nicest we have.
It'll be better than this. And she's looking at this messy dress that she's got, and is there a place I can change?
Oh, right, of course.
She's standing in your backyard.
Nope, sorry, right there.
Yeah, Raz like, shoot, I didn't think about this. Just a moment. I'm gonna like pop back in the house, be like, she needs a place to change. I say we let her in, and then we leave. She can get out her own way. And like look for confirmation.
Okay. She's... Sure, fine. Make it quick,
I'm
Raz.
sorry.
It's...
I'm so sorry, Mother.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. We've got this. We're fine, dear. You see, she's just trying to make peace with this whole situation.
I'll be out in a minute. Do you want to wait out front so she doesn't see you?
Sure, I can.
Thank you.
She goes to the front door, has her backpack on. She opens the front door, and it looks like she's about ready to start to walk out. And then you hear, "Where do you think you're going?"
Shit.
And that's where we're going to end tonight's episode.
All right.
Oh no.
Fun.
Fun times, folks.
Oh no.
Unfortunately, tonight we.
Yeah, we had some character deaths.
We had multiple character deaths this evening.
We need a in loving memory of Slide to pop up on the screen right now, please.
Yes, little Ramsters, we do need to take a moment to absorb all of this. There are F×2 in chats as we remember our friends Silver and Vix tonight on a very sombering episode of Delve and Dash. Next week, perhaps I will have a greatest moments reel that plays Silver and Vix post episode. Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to do new character art. Dang it!
I will get you a description.
It's gonna be great.
I only got a week to do 2. Oh, well, hey, you know.
If anything happens to Raz's mom, you're gonna have to do 3. Just so you know.
Yeah, we need lots of fan art, folks. Blitz Graybeard's chiming in. Can we get fan art of Vix swimming through a green jello? So yeah, we've got to get some fan art, folks, to commemorate Vix and Silver and all of their accomplishments. May they pass.
I would, if I get a picture of Silver and Vix just walking away into the sunset holding hands, it would be my lock screen forever.
Same.
I'm gonna have to get some really crappy dice so I can stop rolling so well against you guys. So
Take Dalton's dice.
Dalton, you want to send me yours and I'll send you mine. Well, folks, sorry we went a little bit long tonight. I apologize for going a little bit, but we wanted to take that moment to remember Vix and Silver tonight as they pass on into the afterlife, into other realms of existence within the D&D multiverse. So, perhaps we may meet Silver and Vix again. We don't know. We don't know where they really ended up. But we do know that we've got a turtle who is on his way to a banquet in invited by the matriarch of the Hand of Yartar. And we've got Raz trying to leave town with her mother. But another mysterious female voice has seemed to have stopped them.
Did I recognize the voice? Can I know that, please?
I will give you this much. Yes, you recognize the voice. And it is of none other than Natalia's.
Oh, that made it worse. Why did I ask? That made it worse.
Now you want to go punch something?
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, until next week, it seems that our friends have some character sheets to fill in and get prepared for next week. And send me character descriptions, please, as we get on
Will do.
the character art train here. Until next time, don't forget to add that proficiency bonus, folks. We'll see you guys soon. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.